I owed the state over $5,000. I owed my tax attorney over $5,000. All of that money that was phantom money that I didn't have got charged to my credit cards and completely and utterly maxed out. Any remaining credit that I had was maxed. So, lastly, why did it all fall apart? All right. Why did this all start happening? Okay. So basically, after I did that show with Steve Cambion, all right.
Oh, one more question. Do you cut out the begging when you cut out the begging, dude? You cut out the begging on your streams.
And the fact that this show was meant to set me up. It's obvious. Up to then, these guys had kind of been transparent about everything. And I kind of felt, but after that, literally everything these guys came up with canceled because they have no fucking clout. Mudahar cancels and ghosts them and doesn't talk to them anymore. It'sAGundam, which they claim is going to be the slam fucking dunk of content, cancels, won't do it, bitches out, and then they destroy him behind the scenes, calling him saying that he, big talker, but he won't do any content. That he'll only do content when it's shooting fish in a barrel. He'll never do an honest show with anyone.
I'm going to say something controversial. DSP is now the greatest lolcow. No one comes close. All right, there was a time when Chris Chan was #1, undisputed king. But in 2025, no one could touch Phil. He's the most delusional, psychotic piece of shit I've ever seen in my life, and I love it. I love it. This is my reality TV. What Kino did was great.
Okay. Medicare. Oh, Medicare will be the best. The big one. The big win. Can't get him. Can't get him. Can't get him. All right, you try by yourself. That doesn't work. So every idea they're coming up with, awful, awful, awful. None of them work. The few little pieces of content that we're trying to do, for example, when we did the Zombies co-op, it doesn't explode or do much, right? So what am I left to do? Actually, to be honest, at the beginning of this year, I was probably going to cut off contact with them at that point because I didn't feel like I was getting anything out of it anymore. But I was trying to figure out the way out, or I wanted to do it in a way that made sense. And basically, we were starting up Smart Guys, and I was like, you know what? Let's figure this out together. Let's do Smart Guys and see how it goes. And if the show does well, all right, then we'll keep going for a while, and I'll play it by ear. But if the show tanks and doesn't do well, then instead I'll cut off with these guys and we'll be done. All right. So this long con started off great. I get a giant surge of views and support, and it dies out within just a few months. And I'm like, these guys, I thought that they were big shit. They're not. These guys are pretenders. They get hyped because they shit on others, but they don't actually have the clout or connections to really make the content that they think they do. They want to be Keemstar, but they're not. They hate Keemstar because they can't be Keemstar. All right? It's just ridiculous. So maybe I did get into bed with the wrong snakes. Here, I thought I was the king snake and I was going to eat them up, but these guys aren't doing anything for me at this point. Like nothing's working anymore, right? So what the hell? What a waste of time, okay? So after the Steve interview, when essentially that went so poorly, and it went poorly for everyone. Steve looked like an asshole because he kept yelling over me. It wasn't a good interview. Nothing new was actually revealed during the interview at all. It was just the same detractor shit. And all that happened is the detractors threw money over at Steve, all right? Which is exactly what happened with Side Scroller. It's the same as the Side Scroller shtick. So there's nothing surprising here. It's just exactly what we all expected. So all of a sudden, I start noticing that PPP is now starting to insult me and saying like snide remarks and comments. Now, he'd been doing it all along on his show, but it seems like it's starting to escalate, all right? It sounds like it's starting to escalate badly. Like on the show, the Grill Fill segments, which used to be like 20 minutes, are now becoming an hour. And it's not even interesting. It's not even paying off. The Grill Fill, which is, again, this is Ashton's idea. Let's grill Phil on Smart Guys for a whole hour. It's not getting us views. It's not getting us support. It's not getting us anything. All it's doing is wasting all of our time and killing our momentum because in reality, people are coming to Smart Guys to watch wrestling commentary, not see me get grilled. He thinks they are, but they never did. They never came there and supported because of that at all. Okay? Basically, and again, you're going to see when you read through the logs, which all of you will, me saying things, about my family members and stuff. He wants, we're talking about flying places. I say I can't fly because I don't have a real ID. My mom is sick and all this stuff. But again, it's the same shtick, the same spiel, just trying to continue on to get out of doing the shit I don't want to do because it's dumb shit that he keeps bringing up. Okay. Are you sneaking me on Tuesday with Steve? And you got your dates wrong. There's tons of people in my chat saying Steve will come on the casino on Tuesday, but that's when we do smart guys, so I have no idea what's going on. In my opinion, I'd be hurt if this were the case, but not surprised. And again, you guys have done so much for me. I'd move on and ignore it all, but it would be nice to know if we're actually doing our show. So even thinking that after the Steve show, which was a snaking, that PPP might snake me again, PPP says, no, he's screaming, right? From the beginning, we presented you as a big deal. You're a legend from the past. You have a massive audience in a new way. Hope to make thousands shitting on RTU. You're able to get a whole brand new setup. You can't too stuck in your ways when it came to being partisan in politics and not want to do drama and want to do it your way still, and you've never grabbed that brass ring. You let oppression slip with bad performances on the casino and doing the same old content on your show. It wasn't appealing to a broader audience. I went for fun because I like you decided to take a day out of my week to do wrestling with you, and several times let you keep the penny. That's a few times he did let me keep all the money on the show, and I always told you guys that too. I can lead you to water, but I can't make you drink. You said you would have been okay with Steve doing a pressing interview like this. You would have agreed to it, but your reaction today has proved anything but. It's false. Our reaction was, you should have told me exactly what Steve was going to talk about, and that it was going to be a detractor interview, because then we could have made it good. Because you didn't, it sucked. It didn't benefit me. All he's going to do is get detractor dollars, and this is lame. We could have done more with it if you were transparent with me, but you snaked me on it. Why weren't you transparent? Okay? So he's still going. I would like for your content to be interesting, for people to watch it. Ultimately, your content to sit in a slowly dwindling audience. You're praying to God for a new whale to fall from the sky. All right? So, let me find it now. I already told you, the idea was that he wanted to build up Steve as some kind of a supervillain character, that we were going to play games and go back and forth and insulting each other. Super boring.
You cut out the begging, dude.
Who the hell was going to care, and who was going to believe that? No one. No one was going to believe that. That was so unbelievably dumb. Like he was going to be like evil Neo, and I was supposed to be the hero facing off against evil Neo, but all the detractors throw him money because he's felting me on his show or whatever. It's awful. All right? It really is. It's like grade school level shit. It's something you would see on Nickelodeon. It's not something that you would expect for content on the internet that's going to be popular. Everyone would have cringed. So at this point, I'm like, dude, I gotta find a way to get out of here. Really, like I have to get out of this situation at this point.
Do you really believe that?
And here we go. You laughing at the joke of my wife looking like Piper Niven was not cool, even if it wasn't intentional. I'm not trying to cause problems, but next time I'm going to say something and it's going to be uncomfortable, I have more than enough shit going on and you know that. All right? So I do confront him about him saying shit about my wife, because this was actually the first time he had ever done it in front of my face. So maybe this is a rarer card. I don't know.
Oh God, it's Cat.
How dare you? But the bummer is it's up to now, the only time he had ever said something about my wife, okay, was actually on his content. So I wasn't even aware. People would send me clips. People would say, are you aware he's insulting you here, there, left, and right? And I'd be like, no. But then again, I'm not really paying attention. I'm not watching the casino every day. I have no intention of watching the casino every day. I don't want to be involved in that, right? But then he's sneak dissing me and my wife there, and then he's doing it on Smart Guys, right? So he says, let's take it back to the basics of wrestling. I told you I had issue with you making fun of Cat on Smart Guys, so why are you doing this on your show? I'm trying to understand it. I have both friend and foe alike now telling me to sever ties with you because you're not my friend and you're using me. I went too far this week. I wasn't treating you like a person, more like content, and I'm very sorry for that. So again, he's apologizing. But what's the point of apologizing if you do it anyway? When you're apologizing for something, but then you're doing it anyway, it doesn't matter. You've already done it again and again. Your apology is invalid if you keep doing the bad thing. So at this point, I know that his apologies don't mean anything either. So what does he say? I want to make it clear, if you do want to cut ties, I completely understand. And I think that you'll do well no matter what. It was at that moment that I decided I'm going to cut ties with this guy. And he says, I happen to like that there's different ways to interpret what's going on, and there's not very straightforward. I think people get invested. I see that you're crashing out. Now, this was the next day's podcast. This was the podcast I did last week where I said I have 3 options. Option 1 is being a sellout. Option 2 is being a massive drama queen villain for the internet like PPP wants me to be. Or number 3 is to go the third route and go straight down the middle. All right. He thinks that's crashing out because I don't want to do path 2. Little does he know that all along, this whole thing has been a setup. I've lied to him for 8 straight months about all this shit. I'm only going along for the ride because essentially I wanted to get more views and money and give myself a boost. I don't really like him. I think he's kind of disturbing. I choose not to believe you. I don't believe you. Like Ron Burgundy says, I don't believe you. I choose not to believe you. Yeah, he doesn't get it. So, yeah, anyway, he thinks I'm crashing out. So I said, crashing out means I want my wife to be treated with respect. There's no way I could justify or defend your insulting cat for no reason, even if it's getting a rise out of your audience, right? You've apologized to me for it, so either you know it's wrong or you've been disingenuous, right? I advise taking some time off. You're kind of seething and lashing out in all directions. You'll just never understand that you don't have to respond to everything and see. I said, I don't even know what you're talking about. All right. Then I looked at his Twitter, and this was on his Twitter. It's a fact. I'm not sure why there's so much hostility surrounding observing reality. So basically saying it's okay to insult your wife. It's just okay to insult your wife. Okay? It's fine. I can just do whatever I want. I can just insult your wife as much as I want. All right? So I said, here's the thing. Way back, a month before, when I had done the podcast or the show, the interview with Steve, I was told both by PPP and Steve, because you did that and you took a giant beating, and now Steve took all this money from your dumb detractors who are so stupid that they throw money at Steve, okay? We're now going to say we owe you a favor. So whatever you need moving forward, you need that favor. You'll find that in the logs, okay? Because I'm going to put them out there. You're going to see it, all right? Here we are, and I say, you know what you could have done? You could have just said that you owed me a favor, all right? That's all you had to say. And that because of that, you're not going to insult Kat anymore because you owe me a big favor, right? And I said, right here, I hope it's not here. People in my kick chat are saying you've insulted Kat again. This was the last Wednesday, so their second show of the week. I really hope that's not true. I'm going to go to sleep. I feel like shit after this week of stuff. I'm sure I'll be bombarded with clips in the morning if this is true. I wake up in the morning, and here's what I have. I owe you nothing, you fucking F-word. And it'll be a cold day in hell before I'm scared of you. Why don't you bring me on tonight and see how it goes? You really wanted to flex nuts. I'm so sick of your shit. You threw everything I did in my face yesterday with the third path lazy bullshit. You have no gratitude for anything. The whole big dog routine, and you're thinking you're going to break me and run the yard? I will fucking show you whose yard it is. You escalated this, and I want a scorched earth drama campaign. I can give you that in spades. I have no idea what he's talking about. Literally, I did one podcast where I talked about I have 3 paths, and the next podcast I said, if this guy insults my wife again, I'm breaking ties and I'm not making content with him anymore because I don't have to continue to do smart guys if this guy's going to insult my wife. I said it's all right if he goes ahead and insults me, but he's not allowed to insult my wife. That's all I said. All of a sudden, I'm the big dog who's thinking he's going to break him and run the yard. This was literally going to be the last time I ever had any interaction with them. I was just going to go on and do absolutely nothing to do with them whatsoever. I wasn't going to snake them publicly. I wasn't going to do this show today at all. The whole idea of this show, I have to respond because these guys are literally just going to keep doing stuff no matter what. So I have to at least do something. And if anything, if the one thing is that I drop the logs, so therefore they can't make shit up and spin the logs in a way that they're not, or say, hey, look, here's an edited log to protect us, but here's the part that makes Phil look bad or whatever. So right now I'm about to dump them so you guys can read them in their entirety, all right? Unedited. You can see them, all right? But here's his responses. His completely unhinged, insane, over-the-top, crazy responses. Get a fucking grip, Phil. This isn't about your wife or my comments. It's about you being a stubborn, lazy, stuck in your ways, word I can't say, who doesn't like getting confronted about your bullshit. You cry victim and throw pity parties to get out of being held accountable, even making the slightest effort out of your own comfort zone to do anything else because you're using this shit to try and have an out, and you can pretend that you're everyone else, blah, 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 blah. And he keeps going. You have no respect. You flush every opportunity. You show me in my efforts zero respect. You're trying to extend my respect to you. You know my tweets are right. By the way, why don't you respond to them? You're a coward. You have been your entire life. You can hide in your hug box, but one day there won't be anyone. He's talking to himself. I'm not reading it. I'm not paying any attention. This is like your ex-girlfriend says it's okay to break up with her if you're not okay with her abusing you. And you're like, all right, I break up with you. And then she freaks out and goes crazy and is stalking you and is going to all your friends and relatives and the public talking shit about you and saying awful things. I'm going to reveal this personal thing about you and this personal thing. How dare you break up with me? How could you break up with me? You can't break up with me. I break up with you and I'm not done with you yet. So how could you? That's exactly what it is. So now it makes sense. Him offering to fly me to Florida and then acting like this when I said, I just don't want to do any more content with you, okay? And he gave me permission to break it off. Just a few logs ago, we saw, he said, I understand if this is your decision that you don't want to do content with me anymore, go ahead. So I said, okay, I made my decision. How dare you? How could you break up with me? I can't believe it. Oh, and he's still going. Look, he's still going. We're not done yet. You know my tweets are right. I didn't read his tweets. Here's what I'll say to you in the end, because this is later. This is days later. I don't want to have to do what I'm doing, because this is after the first show on Friday where he had talked shit and exposed secrets about my life. It doesn't feel good to dump all this on you, but you've endlessly escalated the situation. When did I endlessly escalate the situation? All I did was say, you're insulting my wife. I don't want to do combat with or content with you anymore. We're done. You've been incredibly petty and disrespectful. Never happened. I genuinely want you to apologize for wasting my efforts and let everyone know that it's the case. So let me get this straight. And he says, if you do that, I will drop the entire thing and move on. This is the guy who literally apologized for insulting me and my wife, but then did it again anyway. I called him out on it and he said, I can't really control myself, but I understand if you don't want to do content anymore. It's okay. I tell him I don't want to do content anymore. And now he says, I need to publicly apologize for wasting his efforts. You told me to break it off if I wasn't okay with the insults. Why now do I have to publicly apologize? For what? Are you insane? It really is like an obsessed girlfriend. It's insanity. I don't know why he sent me this. Because he knows I'm not going to do a public apology when I didn't do anything wrong. Okay? And then we're not even done. He does it again. Listen, there's still an opportunity to end things in an amicable fashion. Don't allow pride to stop you from making the decision that's best for you. And then for the record, he texted me again Monday and says, there's no need for you to ever contact me ever again. You made your decision and it's shameful. That was his last actual text that he ever sent me, right? So, I mean, just think about how insane this is. The last thing I said to him was, there's no drama. You're just going to do the same shit everyone else does, all my detractors. I don't care, right? I'm going to ignore you and move on with my life. He sends me an insane amount of crazy, insulting messages, calling me the F word, demanding that I have to apologize when I didn't do anything, right? I actually did what he asked me to do, break it off if I'm not okay with the abuse. It's all done right now. I'm not having any more association with these guys, all right? And one final thing, because Moon Knight did say, what took you so long? If this was going down last week, why didn't you publicly talk about it last week? Because I had, number one, I wanted to see if they were really going to escalate it and do shit, and I didn't know they were going to do that until Friday when they did it on the show. And I was like, maybe they'll do one show. Oh no, they're going to continue this. All they ever wanted to do was milk me for content. Dark side filled the lol cow. And I knew that. I cased them going in. I saw their stream. I saw PPP ringing the fucking dinner bell. I saw Worski playing the fucking air flute kazoo, acting like they were mentally challenged, basically being the Pied Pipers to those who for some reason like this really fucking bizarre content of screeching at the top of your lungs or talking with a lisp. I just don't understand it. I don't like it. I outright said many times I couldn't really watch their content because if I did, it actually bothered me. Like I get a headache and like I couldn't stand it. I love it. I'm not going to change because these guys think they did me a solid by doing the idea I fucking came up with and made possible that made us money, right? Then they couldn't do anything else for me after the fact because all their ideas were awful. They had no clout to make anything happen. Then they're upset that I won't completely change who I am as a person and a creator to personally benefit them. And then at the end, when they say it's okay to leave, and I try to leave, it's like a jilted lover. It's like, oh my God, how dare you break up? Now you're an F, you're this, we're going to do tons of content, we're going to do this. It's like, you're out of your minds. You're fucking insane losers. This is them. Is this what you want to aspire to be someday? Yeah, they might have a lot of money because idiots throw them money every fucking day? Is this what you want to look like? Is this your idol? Is this who you aspire to be? These two guys right here? This could have been me standing next to fucking Ashton at the Hogan bar if I went. Why do you think I didn't want to go? This is not my future, all right? These guys might have all the money in the world, but good fucking God, I don't want to be like them. I am me. I am happy. I'm happily married. I have a great audience that I love, all right? I am never going to waste time on this kind of shit. No one's going to tell me what to do. No one's going to tell me to change. No one's going to hold me over the coals. These guys have absolutely fucking nothing on me at all. Zero. All the shit that they think they have is fake. It's bullshit. It's half-truths. It's no truths. They got fucked. Ladies and gentlemen, I king snaked the fucking casino. They came into my parlor. They fell for the fucking trap. And I ate them the fuck up for breakfast. I reaped the rewards. And now they're going to come out and be like, we got all this shit. You don't have shit. You have nothing. Zero on me. Now, in the months ahead, you know that these guys are going to pretend like they do. They're going to be like, we got you. They don't have nothing. All right? What you've seen in those logs that I just put out there are the only interaction I ever had with those fucking guys. Period. They have nothing. All right? If they come out and be like, well, we got this flaming gun, we got this smoking piece of evidence. No, they don't. Because if there was evidence out there of anything that they were probably going to make up, June the King would have had it in his documentary, and my detractors would have already had it. I'm past it. I have nothing to do with them. I am now washing my hands of them. All right? The king snaked the casino. I got what I wanted. I got the temporary boost. It helped me. I got verified on Kick. That is it for the Level 666 podcast of how DSP robbed Kino Casino. I'm now done with this shit. I'm not going to speak on it again. Again, if you hear any nonsense from those guys saying anything about me, they have nothing additional. I already gave you anything that they had on me. Anything else they say is completely fabricated and made up. There are nothing else out there. It's all bullshit. I'm moving on with my life. I got rid of the toxic girlfriend who was treating me bad. And I don't care how many times she texts and calls and tells the relatives and friends and everyone on the internet that, you know, I'm a bad person because of this and this, or here's his personal business. It's not going to affect me. All right? I'm going to move forward like always, making content, having fun with my audience. I'm sorry that we even had to do this today because, again, I was just looking to leave and walk away. But instead, I had to do this because they escalated it and got it to the point where it was. So now they have nothing to work with. It's all burned. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you liked the show. It's time to move on and get back to business. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the future. Bye-bye.